Now, Fox 54's Top Teacher. Sponsored by Calhoun Community College.
Math for many of us in school, a tough subject, and then there's geometry. Certainly a struggle for me, but one Huntsville teacher is changing how her ninth graders view geometry, and she's using art to do it. I'm excited to introduce this week's Fox 54's top teacher, Adrienne Booth from New Century Technology High School. There's more to math.
I started a whole thing where I call it geometry as art.
In Adrienne Booth's geometry class.
We just take simple shapes or simple topics that we're learning and I allow them to make their own art piece where they demonstrate that basic topic.
Booth has turned math into a masterpiece.
I put it all over the wall, so I call it their art piece, and it's our geometry art gallery.
She's taught ninth graders at New Century Technology High School for more than a decade and has been teaching overall for 30 years.
I always tell them that you're here in ninth grade, but you're going to go on the track to calculus.
It's important to bridge the gap, especially in a competitive space like New Century Tech. Some of those younger students includes Abigail White, who enjoys Booth's classroom.
She's a really nice teacher. She's very passionate. She's always willing to help out if you're struggling, and she just is a really sweet teacher.
Abigail studies computer science at New Century Tech, and she says Booth's class complements her curriculum.
In programming foundations, which is one of the classes I'm taking right now, we have to use a lot of things we learned during class to solve different problems and figure out different functions in that class, so it all kind of goes together.
Assistant Principal Chris Sims says having a teacher help students adjust to higher learning makes a huge impact.
It's imperative that we have those ninth graders have someone that is very nurturing and compassionate about not only their subject area, but the students as well, and she has a gift for that.
For Booth, these students are her babies and holds them close to her heart, hoping they grow more than anything.
I would just want them to understand that it's okay to make mistakes, and learning is a journey, not a destination.
Wow, wise words. Congratulations, Ms. Booth. Check out the moment she was surprised as a Fox 54 top teacher on Fox 54 Plus. And don't forget to nominate a deserving one on fox54.com.
Hello, Ms. Booth. You have been selected as Fox 54 Top Teacher of the Week.
Thank you very much.
So welcome. Look at that.
Congratulations.
My name is Adrienne Booth, ADRIENNE BOOTH.
Excellent. And your title here at New Century?
I am a math teacher, ninth grade geometry.
Oh, I'm a fan. I'm a fan because geometry is really hard.
Yeah.
And also I'm a fan because my mom's a math middle school teacher.
Oh,
middle school math teacher.
That's a special job.
Seventh graders?
I did that once. It was not my ministry. High school is more my speed.
I got you. So props to you. Math
Thank you.
isn't an easy subject,
No,
right?
it's not. It's not. And you know, being a ninth grade math teacher, it's just as much about helping the children, the students, my babies as I call them, integrate into high school and what high school is and how that's different from middle school. I mean, we got these little 13, 14-year-old babies in the building with 18, 19-year-olds. So it's really important to help them bridge the gap from the middle school headspace to high school and all the freedoms they have and that kind of thing. It's really important.
It is very, very important, especially with this being a magnet program that focuses on STEM. I was talking to Abigail about how this class complements what she does. She's into computer science, and so you would say it's essentially the foundation here. Right?
Yes, very much the foundation. I try to make sure that the topics I'm covering are going to help them with their standardized testing, the ACT, and also support them into the much harder classes and the AP classes that they end up in. I always tell them that you're here in ninth grade, but you're going to go on the track to calculus, and so here are the things we have to know to get there, and also try to help them learn to cope with some of their anxieties and some things like that. A lot of times with really competitive and driven students, some of them also struggle with some things like that, so I try to make sure my room is a safe place to help them learn those kinds of skills as well. I see that as my job as a ninth grade teacher.
I can tell. What are some of the fun and more engaging activities that you do in your math class?
I would say because I teach geometry, I was blessed to go to the National Math Teachers Conference a couple of years ago, and I went to a training where I learned about geometry and using art. And so I started a whole thing where I call it geometry as art, and we just take simple shapes or simple topics that we're learning, and I allow them to make their own art piece where they demonstrate that basic topic, and I put it all over the wall. So I call it their art piece, and it's our geometry art gallery, and I think they enjoy that for their own individuality. And then to see their art on the wall, I think it helps make the room feel like it's part of them.
That's great.
Yeah.
Is it, if I were to walk in your classroom, would I be able to see that?
So yes, in the back of the room, there's circles was the theme. They could do whatever they wanted. That's on the wall. And above my desk, the second day of school, we did squares and rectangles, just like to kind of break the ice into the new school, new class, and everything. And some of them I took down, but what's still left is circles on the wall and then squares and rectangles above my desk.
Excellent. I neglected to ask this question up top. How long have you been teaching?
This is my 30th year in education. I started in 1996 at Butler High School. Go Rebels.
Yay, congrats. So you're Huntsville through and through.
Yes, and Butler is no longer a school, but everything I learned at the school, there at that school, and I brought it over here to this new magnet school, so I'm happy to be here too.
Nice. And how long have you been here at New Century?
I think this is my 11th or 12th year. So when they closed my old school, I came here immediately. So I started in the fall of 2015. So I think this is year 11 or year 12. I lose track. Yeah, so I always tell my students that when I'm fussing at them, which isn't a lot, but sometimes I have to remind them, I've been teaching longer than you've been a human being. That's my favorite thing to say. But yes, so 30 years in education.
That's excellent. What do you hope in your years that your students have gained when they leave your classroom? Because have you always taught ninth grade?
Almost, yeah.
All years?
All the 30 years. Every now and then I had maybe 10th or 11th, but mostly ninth grade is my thing. I've been in the freshman academy. I'm not going to get emotional. I would just want them to understand that it's okay to make mistakes, and learning is a journey, not a destination.
I've really enjoyed it. She's a really nice teacher. She's very passionate. She's always willing to help out if you're struggling, and she just is a really sweet teacher.
Yeah, and math obviously is an integral part of technology. Do you feel like you get a good understanding of it? And you said that you're studying what here?
I'm studying computer science.
Computer science, yeah. So do you think that taking up this math has complemented what you're studying here?
Yes, of course. In programming foundations, which is one of the classes I'm taking right now, we have to use a lot of things we learned during class to solve different problems and figure out different functions in that class. So it all kind of goes together.
And what do you think is the most engaging or fun activity rather that you've done so far in her class?
I really like when I don't know, there's a lot of things. I like when like in the mornings, when we all start off at the beginning of the day with the bell ringers. She's always very energetic, and when she's teaching the lessons, she's just very engaging and sweet. And she's always talking to students and making sure everyone's happy and trying to get to know everyone. So I really like the beginning of the day.
Awesome. Anything else you want to add?
She's a really great teacher.
Awesome. Good job. You did. Teachers are known to push their students to be the best versions of themselves, and according to one parent, that's exactly what this teacher does. I got to witness it firsthand while she taught social studies, and personally, it was one of my favorite subjects when I was in school. Meet this week's Fox 54's top teacher, Courtney Calvin from Austin Middle School. Welcome to
Social studies kind of chose me. I didn't really choose social studies.
Courtney Calvin's class. On this day,
A stylish young woman who focused on having fun
was a pop quiz. Calvin quizzing her Austin Middle School 6th graders on everything they know.
We do what is called visual vocabulary. So they have to take the vocabulary word and come up with a definition in their own words. I do give them the definition, but then they have to change it.
Calvin has been teaching for 5 years.
We ready? All right, the next one.
She first started off in kindergarten, but spent the latter half of her 5 years teaching 6th graders.
I loved the little children, but I just kind of, as I got into teaching, I realized very quickly that I really wanted to work with older children.
And the big kids, if you will, love working with her.
She's nice, she's caring, she helps me with a lot of things.
Her class, she's nice, and she helped me with a lot of stuff, and I learned a lot of things in this class.
They even love the creative way they learn in her class.
There's this thing called ESPN, economics, social, political, and environment.
Principal Emily Harris believes it's her ability to connect with the kids that helps them learn.
Coach Calvin really meets them where they need to be met. She gets to know the kids, she lets them get to know each other, and supports them in all of their subjects.
Calvin is given the title coach for a reason. In addition to teaching, she coaches cheerleading. But for her, it's bigger than them cheering and learning history.
I always tell them I hope that they leave, like, not just as students that know history, but citizens that are prepared for life.
Congratulations, Mrs. Calvin. You'll get to see the moment she was surprised as the Fox 54 Top Teacher later tonight on Fox 54 Plus. Download on your TV. Watch for free. And we're always open for nominations. Nominate a deserving teacher on FOX54.com.
Hello, everyone. Okay, I'm here because Miss Coach Calvin has been awarded the Fox 54 Top Teacher. And so she has no idea this is happening. So everybody, let's give her a round of applause. Y'all gonna be on the news. Yay! Good. Yes, I believe a parent or someone nominated you. So good way to go, Miss Calvin.
Thank you. Calvin, Courtney, Calvin.
Excellent. And you teach?
6th grade social studies.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
6th graders.
Yes.
You have 6th graders in your class.
Yes.
Awesome. How long have you been teaching?
I've been teaching for a total of 5 years. I did my first 2.5 years in kindergarten, and then I swapped over to 6th grade. So big jump. Thank you.
Why middle school and why social studies?
So I loved the little children, but I just kind of, as I got into teaching, I realized very quickly that I really wanted to work with older children. Social studies kind of chose me. I didn't really choose social studies, but I'm very grateful to be in social studies, and the more that I've taught it, the more I truly enjoy teaching social studies.
I can tell. I can just look around your classroom and
Yes.
see that you enjoy what you do.
Yes.
By the mere fact of what you have on your walls. It's
Yes.
very welcoming and
Yes.
inviting to want to learn. What are some of the most engaging activities you do with your students?
So we go through a program that's called A+, and so we use a lot of those activities. There's activities like Triple Threat where they're looking at pictures and kind of gathering observations and making inferences and predictions about what they think the pictures mean, and it ties into the topics that we're doing. We do a lot of reading comprehension work, a lot of vocabulary, trying to get those reading scores up. And they enjoy doing a lot of those. We actually have a simulation with the Great Depression coming up next week, and I really think they're going to enjoy that. So, yes.
Excellent. And I see, was today a pop quiz day?
It was on vocabulary. Yes.
That's
Yes.
great. And obviously it takes some preparation.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like they're working on, they started it a few days ago. We do what is called visual vocabulary. So they have to take the vocabulary word and come up with a definition in their own words. I do give them the definition, but then they have to change it. And then they have to find some type of picture from the internet with parameters. It's got to be related to the word, not random. And then they have to find facts or characteristics, and then they have to make me a test question so that I can put their questions on the test. So that kind of helps them build that vocabulary knowledge really well. Yes.
Excellent. Yes, that's important, especially for social studies
Yes.
and world history. I mean, we're living in history every single day. What do you hope your students walk away with when they leave your 6th grade class?
So I always tell them I hope that they leave, like, not just as students that know history, but citizens that are prepared for life. There are certain trends, and as we all know, history does repeat itself, and so there are certain things we look at. What do we want to repeat as humans? What do we not want to repeat? And so that is something that I teach them, and then students that have gone on, they'll say, I remember when you taught about this, and now I'm watching the news and I'm seeing it happening, and I feel like I understand what's going on. And so things like that kind of get me excited as a teacher to know that they're actually listening to me. So, yes.
And it seems like you make it so fun. Now, social studies isn't the only thing you do. I see that you have the pom-poms back there. You also do cheer.
Yes, I am the varsity assistant cheer coach at Austin High School. This is my 4th season there, so yes.
Were you a cheerleader?
I was a cheerleader. I cheered here in middle school, and then I cheered in high school, and I cheered 1 year at UNA. So yes,
Gosh,
yes,
so you're a lifelong black
yes,
bear.
yes, I am.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. Anything else you want to add about what you do here and your impact on the students?
Not much, just my main thing is just I want to be somebody that I didn't have all the time in school. That's one of my big things. I had teachers that didn't really seem to want to be there, and they didn't seem to go the extra mile for some of those kids. Now, some of these kids will think I am overly hard on them, but they always come back and say, I understand it now because of how difficult it was, or it is now in the older grades. So they get it, and that is kind of my mission, if you will. So yes.
She's nice, she's caring, she helps me with a lot of things.
Her class, like, she's nice, and she helped me with a lot of stuff, and I learned a lot of things in this class.
There's this thing called ESPN, economics, social, political, and environment.
This teacher we're about to meet just bubbles with joy. She wants to make sure her littles are ready for the world. I'm excited to introduce this week's Fox 54's top teacher. Meet Taylor Johnson from Walnut Grove School in Newmarket. Welcome to Taylor Johnson's class.
Well, I'm still a newbie. This is my 4th year teaching, so I'm still new, but I love it every day.
Johnson teaches first grade students at Walnut Grove School that's been around for 105 years.
It's amazing because the community is so helpful. The parents are very familiar to who you are and to the building, and they're excited to come in and bring their kids each year to continue the traditions that we've had for so many years.
Johnson says her love for helping kids read goes back to when she once struggled how to read.
As a child, I struggled with reading and math, and it was hard for me to learn and develop different skills, and I wanted to make sure that I could teach kids that struggled how to read and do math. When I was in 1st grade, I was diagnosed with dyslexia, and so when I got a teaching job, I always wanted to be in 1st grade because that's where we build the foundational skills for reading.
Principal Anthony Davison says Johnson brings joy to the 4 corners of her classroom.
Her students are always excited about coming into her classroom. I never have to worry about walking in. I can send anybody into her classroom and know that that teaching and learning is going to be taking place.
And Johnson hopes her students leave with more than just building academics.
Well, I always tell them to never forget me, that they always need to come back and give me a hug every single day, and people still do that. But I always want them to understand that they can do anything that they set their minds to, that anything that they want to do in this world is possible because they can do hard things. And I always want to grow them academically and socially.
Congratulations, Mrs. Johnson. Check out the moment she was surprised as the Fox 54 top teacher on Fox 54 Plus, also nominated teacher on FOX54.com.
Hey, boys and girls. Miss Taylor Johnson, you are Fox 54's top teacher. Boys and girls, give your teacher a hand. Woo! I got you, baby. This is the teacher that's coming to observe you.
I was like, what in the world? On a Friday?
On a Friday, she was so thinking that a teacher was coming to observe.
Johnson, Taylorjohnson.
Excellent. And you teach what grade?
1st grade.
1st grade at Walnut Grove.
Yes.
You know, how does it feel, Mrs. Johnson, to work at a school that's been around for like 105 years?
It's amazing because the community is so helpful. The parents are very familiar to who you are and to the building, and they're excited to come in and bring their kids each year to continue the traditions that we've had for so many years. That's one thing I've wanted to do when I came to work here, is to continue to grow the tradition and build the community, increase culture in our building. So I think that's one of the values of working in a small school and then being one that's been around for so long.
Yeah, and how long have you been working here?
I have been working here for 2 years. Yeah, this is my 2nd year, yeah.
And how long overall have you been in education?
Well, I'm still a newbie. This is my 4th year teaching, so I'm still new, but I love it every day.
That's great. And why did you decide to go into teaching?
As a child, I struggled with reading and math, and it was hard for me to learn and develop different skills, and I wanted to make sure that I could teach kids that struggled how to read and do math and not have any burdens when they got older of how to do academics or be a part of education.
And why 1st graders?
because when I was in first grade, I was diagnosed with dyslexia, and so when I got a teaching job, I always wanted to be in first grade because that's where we build the foundational skills for reading.
Oh, that's great. I love your story.
Yes.
What are some of the fun things that you do in your class?
We love to do crafts. We love to do hands-on activities. My favorite thing right now is we're doing math right now with place value, so we're doing a lot of hands-on manipulatives and growing that, and then reading, we're learning about a lot of new skills.
Oh, that's great. What do you hope your first graders walk away with when they go on to second grade?
Well, I always tell them to never forget me, that they always need to come back and give me a hug every single day, and people still do that. But I always want them to understand that they can do anything that they set their minds to, that anything that they want to do in this world is possible because they can do hard things. And I always want to grow them academically and socially.
That is great. Excellent, excellent. Now, are you from around here?
I live in Hazel Green, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you originally from Madison County?
I grew up in Gurley, and I went to Madison County High School, so I'm a Madison County school area kind of girl.
Oh my gosh, yes. You're
yes.
Madison County through and through.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
where'd you go to elementary?
I went to Madison County Elementary School, and then I went to Madison County High School.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
Yeah.
good for you. And
Yeah.
you came back home. And
Yes,
you're
yes,
working in
yes.
education.
It's nice to see.
Now, Fox 54's Top Teacher, sponsored by Calhoun Community College.
I'm excited to introduce this week's Fox 54's Top Teacher. Not only was she nominated once, she was nominated twice, and by parents. We got to catch her just before the holidays. Her name is Katrina Campbell, fourth grade teacher from Owens Crossroads Elementary School. Here's the moment she was surprised.
I'd like to take this moment to recognize Ms. Katrina Campbell as Fox 54 Top Teacher. Congratulations.
A hearty congratulations to Mrs. Katrina Campbell. She's been teaching for a total of 19 years and has been around the world, including South Korea and Alaska, but has made Owens Crossroads Elementary her home. This is her third year at OCR. Campbell says fourth grade is her favorite.
It's my heart grade. I've done all the grades, K through 8, except for 5th. And I was third grade for my first 2 years at OCR, so I rolled up with this group of babies, and fourth is just my favorite because they're able to joke with you, they're able to be independent but still love school and get excited for anything that you throw at them.
Her fourth graders love her too. We spoke with the kids of the parents who nominated Mrs. Campbell, Amelia and Adam. Here's why they like her.
I got to be in her class last year and this year. It's always fun, and if you're really nice to her, she's nice to you, but if you're bad to her, she's even worse. When I'm sad, she'll comfort me, and she'll let me draw when I want to, if I'm like stressed.
Oh yeah, a well-deserved award for Mrs. Campbell. Check out the full clip of her surprise as a Fox 54 Top Teacher and her full interview on Fox 54 Plus, and of course, nominated teacher on fox54.com.
To take this opportunity to recognize one of our teachers for outstanding service and dedication to the field of education and the students of this community. As nominated by Tara Beard and Samantha Hannes, I would like to take this moment to recognize Ms. Katrina Campbell as Fox 54 Top Teacher. Congratulations.
Katrina Campbell.
Yes, ma'am. And your title here at Owens Crossroads?
I'm a fourth grade teacher.
Awesome. And how long have you been teaching here?
So this is my third year at OCR.
Congrats. Where were you before here?
Madison Crossroads.
Madison. And
Yes.
you teach fourth graders?
Yes, ma'am.
Fourth
I
graders.
do.
Why fourth grade?
Oh, it's my favorite grade. It's my heart grade. I've done all the grades, K through 8, except for 5th. And I was third grade for my first 2 years at OCR, so I rolled up with this group of babies, and fourth is just my favorite because they're able to joke with you, they're able to be independent but still love school and get excited for anything that you throw at them.
Oh my, and I can tell that you love your kiddos.
I do.
And I can tell that they love you.
Yes.
What are some of the fun things that you do to make sure that they're engaged? Because third, fourth grade, You're in fourth now, but those are critical grades.
They are. So this year I've had the opportunity to be departmentalized this year. So I'm social studies science and a reading interventionist. So science this year, one of our favorite things we probably did was we made planetary rovers out of noodles. And so that was very exciting. We've done some art projects with our Alabama history because we're the only grade that get to do Alabama history. So we've done some projects with art with our state. And yeah, I guess those are just the ones that stick out to my mind.
What do you hope when your students leave your class and matriculate up to 5th grade, the final year of primary school, what do you hope they walk out of your classroom with?
Oh, I just hope they walk out with this sense of knowing that they can do anything when they go out into the world, that there's nothing they can't do. And I just hope that, you know, they leave me a little bit smarter, a little bit more loved, a little bit stronger, a little bit more confident than when they came to me. Because I know they leave me that way. I leave each year after having them a little bit better at what I do. So I hope they just leave a little better than what they arrived to me as.
Anything else you want to add, Mrs. Campbell?
Oh no, ma'am. I'm so lucky to work at OCR. I just love our students. They make me better, so I'm so thankful for that.
How many years you said you worked overall as a teacher?
So this is year 19 as a teacher. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Is Alabama home for you, or are you from?
So Alabama is home, but I have not always taught in Alabama. I taught in South Korea and Alaska in a bush village as well, but the majority of my years here in Alabama. So, yes, ma'am.
Before I had the chance to meet this teacher, I was told by a receptionist that she goes by Miss Hollywood. So in addition to her nomination, I was already getting ready to see a star that shines inside and outside of her classroom. And she loves to see her third graders shine too. Meet this week's Fox 54's top teacher, Quanisha Ford from Martin Luther King Jr. Elementary School in Huntsville. Welcome to Miss Hollywood, aka Quanisha Ford's class. But she's not the only star here.
I wanted my classroom to have the students to feel like a celebrity. I wanted them to feel like a star.
Ford has been teaching at MLK for 6 years. She's originally from Greenville, Mississippi, and has taught for a total of 10 years. She likes to keep the kids active.
We do something called room transformation. Actually, the other day, I turned my classroom to Starbucks, but we changed it to Starbucks. And so Starbucks was able to give me some bags and cups, so the students were able to read fiction and nonfiction books.
But on this day, as the students prepared for the holiday break, they partied, but not before passing an assignment.
They came in and told me that they passed their lessons, so I had 90% or above of my students to have those already lessons done. So we are celebrating. I'm big on celebrating because they know we have to work first and play later, so I'm super proud of them.
Principal Cheryl Askew says Ford pours into her children.
She invests in our students. She is the teacher here, and she's the teacher outside of here. She goes to baptism, she goes to games, she does all of this. She gets to know her students. Well, she gets to know all of our students. So everybody in this building knows Ms. Ford. So she's just a good teacher. She's great.
Assistant Principal Michelle Scott loves the work she sees in Ford's class too.
She's very hands-on, interactive. I mean, the whole brain teaching type things for me. I love the fact that they're always engaged, interacting. And not only that, but she makes those personal relationships with the children. She goes to their games.
And Ford says she wants her kids to remain shining like the stars that they are.
I hope that they walk out of my classroom with learning all of the skills that I've taught them.
Congratulations, Ms. Ford. Check out the full clip of her surprise as a Fox 54 top teacher and her full interview on Fox 54 Plus. Of course, nominate a deserving teacher on fox54.com.
Hi, how are you? Good. Everybody, we have another surprise today.
Oh my gosh.
All right, everybody, you know your teacher is a Hollywood teacher, so Ms. Ford, you have been given the top teacher from Channel 54.
Oh, thank you. All right, what now? Thank you so
Everybody
much.
give her hands.
They looking like, what's happening? Thank you.
You were nominated, and you got it. So there you go. And you will be on TV.
I will be on TV?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Quanisha Ford, Quanisha, last name Ford, Ford.
Excellent. And you teach?
Third grade.
How long have you been teaching third grade here?
I've been teaching third grade here for 6 years.
Wow. And How long have you been teaching, period?
I have been teaching going on 10 years.
10 years?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. What compelled you to go into teaching?
Well, so my mom, she's also an educator, and I was that student that I was like a teacher pet. So I found myself just wanting to help my teacher all the time. At home, I played being the teacher with my sisters. So on the weekends, I would have them to read books, do some writing skills. And so when I was at school, I had mentors along the way that inspired me to become an educator.
Oh my gosh. And why 3rd grade?
3rd grade, so I knew deep down inside that 3rd grade was a grade for me. 3rd grade is a rigorous grade level. And so at first I was conflicted between 2nd or 3rd grade, but I actually did my internship here at Martin Luther King Jr. and Ms. Askew came and offered me a position. And I said, let me pray on it and I'll take it. And so I just knew 3rd grade deep down inside was the grade that I really wanted to do. So it's fun, I like it. I'm still here for 6 years, so.
Why do they call you Miss Hollywood?
They call me Miss Hollywood because my classroom is Hollywood. Throughout my education journey, I always told myself that I wanted my classroom to have the students to feel like a celebrity. I wanted them to feel like a star. So on the first day of school, I have my red carpet rolled out. And so every year, it just brings me joy to see students on the first day of school walk in and feel like they are a celebrity, feel like they are important. And so now the students just adopted the Hollywood teacher for me. And that's something that every year I just look forward to hearing.
I love to hear that. What are some of the fun things? I mean, you mentioned red carpet on the first day.
Yes.
When it comes to learning, because again, you mentioned 3rd grade, a critical grade level for
Yes.
kids. What are some of the most engaging things you do with them to help them learn?
Yes, so we do something called room transformation. Actually, the other day, I turned my classroom into Starbucks, but we changed it to Starbucks. And so Starbucks was able to give me some bags and cups, so the students were able to read fiction and nonfiction books. They also got an opportunity to research Starbucks and how the way they make things. They were able to do task cards. Also, I've dressed up as a chef. I've dressed up as a referee, so we do tons of room transformations to ensure that they're having fun, but they're also learning at the same time.
Oh, that's so fun. What do you hope that when they leave 3rd grade and got through that hard rigor of testing and they move on to 4th, what do you hope they walk out of Mrs. Ford's classroom with? What knowledge?
I hope that they walk out of my classroom with learning all of the skills that I've taught them. So not only do I teach them content, but we also have something called Motivation Monday, where every Monday they are watching an inspiring video. We do a lots of classroom building activities and just life lessons. In addition to that, they have classroom jobs, so they were able to do interviews. They have their ID badges, so not only am I preparing them for 3rd grade, but I'm also preparing them for the real world. Every year I give scholarships away, so this is my 9th year giving scholarships away to high school and college students. And with my foundation, I educate and empower and equip them with scholarships. So I do free scholarship workshops, help them with ACT workshops, and just whatever assistance they need with scholarships, I'm the person that they contact. So not only do I teach 3rd grade, I also give back to my community. We do like back to school drive. I also assist college students with any funding that they may need, because I know how important it is to ensure that you have funds for school.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Where did you go to school?
I went to school for high school in Greenville High School, and then my undergrad, I obtained my associates and bachelor's at Tougaloo College. Moved here in 2016. I didn't know anybody, no family, no friends. So I obtained my master's at Alabama A&M University, just got my specialist, now working on my doctorate, and then just got my national board. So it's like the journey just keep getting better and better. 90% or above of my students to have those already lessons done. So we are celebrating. I'm big on celebrating because they know we have to work first and play later. So I'm super proud of them. They have learned their multiplication facts. They've been doing really amazing this school year.
Yeah, and this year went by so fast.
It did. It really did. It was just like they was just walking in here, and then now it's getting ready for Christmas, and then now it's going to be the new year. Then now I have to take them to 4th grade.
I know, and that'll come before you know it.
It will. It will.
Nominate a teacher on FOX54.com.
Fox 54 Plus has your news, sports, and weather. Start your evening with Fox 54 at 5:30, delivering the latest headlines and live reports straight from the scene. Then, stay informed with Fox 54 News at 9, featuring your Tennessee Valley certified most accurate weather impact team, tracking everything from tornado threats to traffic delays during severe weather. Fox 54 Sports Extra brings you more of what sports fans crave, with deeper insights, expert analysis, and all the action that matters most. On Fox 54 Plus, you'll also find Alabama politics, plus 24/7 weather radar and real-time forecasts to keep you ahead of the storm. Looking for a quick recap? Don't miss Fox 54 Week in Review, highlighting the biggest stories of the week. Jumpstart your morning with Morning Rush. Fast-paced news updates featured with uplifting stories from across the globe. Get your entertainment fix with Getting Real, where we break down movie reviews, top 10 lists, and spotlight the newest film. Die Hard fan? Locked On Sports dives deep into the Crimson Tide, the Tigers, college rivalries, and pro action. True crime warrior style? Killer Cases brings you gripping real-life stories that stick with you. Hungry for more? Cooking with Style serves up mouth-watering recipes that are easy to make and impossible to resist. From movie previews before you head to the theater with Take a Look, to must-know headlines from across the region and around the world with In the News. Watch all of these shows on demand and also on the Fox 54 News app. Available on Android and iOS devices. Streaming 24/7.
Did you know that you can get weather impact updates 24/7 on Fox 54 Plus? Here's how. Go to Fox 54 Plus on your Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, or Samsung. Once you're on the main screen, push the down arrow and click on the Fox 54 Plus Weather Impact 24/7 block. Here, you'll find radar, current temperatures and conditions, traffic cams, forecasts, and more, all available on demand. Want to get back to the main channel? Just push the down arrow and click on the 24/7 stream button. It's your weather impact updates 24/7 on Fox 54 Plus. Start streaming today.